Once upon a time, a young woman entered a Benedictine abbey. As any dedicated postulant, she was eager to make a good impression upon her superiors. She was both hopeful and nervous when asked to drive Mother Abbess to a doctor's appointment. As was her custom, the abbess sat alone in the back seat of the car so that she could quietly pray her rosary without engaging in any unnecessary conversation with the postulant. All was going well until they stopped at a traffic light. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the devil appeared on the hood of the car and began making ugly faces and obscene gestures through the front window. The postulant shrieked in horror. The abbess calmly looked up from her prayers and asked, "What is it, my child?" The postulant replied, "It is the devil, Mother. He is sitting on the hood of the car, staring at me and making horrid faces and gestures." Without losing her serenity, Mother Abbess said, "Not to worry, dear. Just show him your cross." So the postulant rolled down the window of the car and yelled, "Get off the damn car!" Saint Aelred of Rievaulx was a Cistercian monk who served as abbot in his monastery of Rievaulx from 1147 until his death. He produced a great number of written works on theology and the spiritual life. Among his most popular works is his treatise, Spiritual Friendship. One of my favorite passages from this treatise is the following. Divine authority commands that many more be received to the clasp of charity than to the embrace of friendship. By the law of charity, we are ordered to welcome into the bosom of love not only our friends, but also our enemies. But we call friends only those to whom we have no qualm about entrusting our heart and all its contents, while these friends are bound to us in turn by the same inviolable law of loyalty and trustworthiness. Abbot Aelred teaches that friendship is to be held in high regard. As stated in the previous passage, Aelred admits that charity toward all is required by divine command, but the bond of friendship is reserved only for such persons with whom we are confident to entrust our heart and all its contents, and from whom in return we expect loyalty and trustworthiness. Jesus shows us what being a friend is all about. In the Gospels of Luke and John, there are references made to his special friendship with Martha, Mary, and Lazarus of Bethany. His special relationship with these three siblings is evident in the poignant passage regarding the death and resurrection of Lazarus. The narrative begins with Jesus receiving word from Martha and Mary, "Master, the one you love is ill." Before the story continues to unfold, the special relationship is highlighted with the words, "Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus." When Jesus at last arrives at Bethany, Lazarus has died. Upon witnessing the intense grief of the two sisters, Jesus weeps. Even though he knew a happy ending would come about with the resurrection of Lazarus, Jesus still experiences intense grief over the loss of his friend. Jesus describes the ideal friend when he says, "No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." In the Christian sense, true love is expressed in the form of self-sacrifice, a willingness to lay down one's life for another. This true love is rooted in the will and transcends feelings and passions. Love, which wants the good of the other and is expressed in a willingness to sacrifice oneself for another's benefit, is the foundation of friendship and must also be present in the spousal relationship. For one living a celibate, unmarried lifestyle, as in the priesthood, religious, or monastic life, friendships are still very important. Ideally, a monastic community should be a family of friends, but it is not possible to like each other the same way, and it is not wise to grant the same level of trust to everyone. There has been some controversy over the years about particular friendships in religious and monastic communities. This may have arisen out of a popular spiritual movement known as Jansenism that infected Catholic thought from the early 17th century up through the mid-20th century. Jansenism is named for Cornelius Jansen, who was a bishop of what is now present-day Belgium. Jansenism mimicked Calvinism in its excessive focus on sin, an exaggerated emphasis on personal unworthiness, and a suspicion of any pleasurable human experience. This point of view perhaps ran in the opposite direction from Abbot Aelred's attitude in his praise of spiritual friendship and its accompanying delights. Although Jansenism no longer infects mainstream Catholic thought, strains of it are still alive and well among Catholics who adhere to attitudes and behaviors that are popularly identified as pre-Vatican II spirituality. In my experience and judgment, those who condemn or avoid special friendships within religious and monastic communities are usually adverse and fearful of any form of human intimacy, no matter how spiritual. They deflect attention from their own jealousies, fears, and insecurities by criticizing, sabotaging, or gaslighting people enjoying healthy, chaste, and celibate, though nonetheless special, relationships. What I have presented in brief are my general reflections on the divine gift of friendship. Please watch for my next video where I will share more of my thoughts on friendship, particularly some warning signs of false friendship and the characteristics of a healthy friendship. Please like this video, leave friendly comments, and subscribe to my channel. If you haven't watched my previous videos, please do so at your earliest convenience. Until next time, peace be with you.